What you are about to hear might just keep you up tonight. Welcome to Hauntcore Vault. We live in a 150-year-old farmhouse. The first week we lived here, my iPhone was sitting 5 or 6 feet away from me, hadn't been touched in a while, like 20 minutes or more, and Siri just said, "You are in my realm." There was no history of the phone saying this or of any activity. A few months later, my cat woke me up, waited at the foot of my bed, and kept meowing until I got out of the bed. She went to the top of the stairs and waited until I followed her downstairs, and she just sat in the middle of the room. I checked a few things to make sure something hadn't caught fire or whatever, while she just sat in the middle of the room looking up the staircase. The house was so quiet it was eerie and disturbing. Usually something makes a noise in this place. I turned around to go upstairs and thought I stood in something wet and bent over to check, but it was just a weird spot that was so cold I thought my socks were wet. When I stood up, I felt a hand on my right shoulder. Nobody was there. Doors occasionally open, and TV remotes constantly go missing. We've lost, I think, 5 now, and have never found one. Every single piece of furniture has been removed from the TV room during renovations, so it's not like something ended up in a void under the couch. 2 years ago, I was at a flea market and bumped into a former coworker I hadn't seen in quite a while, who ended up living just around the corner. She pointed at a couple and said to go introduce myself, as they lived in our house in the 80s. I introduced myself, said I live in their old house, and they immediately asked how the ghost was doing. Apparently, it had a thing for TV remotes back then as well.
I am from the UK, and like you, I would like to share my story with others. The house in question was in Birmingham, England, and we moved in there when I was around 6 years old. Me, my mother, and my sister, and my mother's partner at the time. So, our first weird experience was on the very first night. My mother had realized that she had not brought enough blankets for us all, so her partner decided to go back to his flat to pick some more up, leaving me and my sister watching TV with Mom. As we sat there watching the TV, the volume suddenly started going up really loud, and my mom shouted at us, "Who is messing with the remote?" We looked at her confused because the remote was next to her. She turned it down, but then the channels started to change, flicking backwards and forwards, and eventually it just changed to a fuzzy screen, like when you have no signal, with the volume all the way up. My mother sat there and cried. We didn't know what to do. We turned off the TV, and of that occasion, that's all I remember. On another occasion, I was roughly 6 to 7 years old, and my mom had taken us upstairs to settle to bed. She told me to go into my room and she would follow shortly. I remember walking in my room and hearing a faint but heavy breathing, like a man snoring in my bed. I came rushing out and told her, "I can't sleep in there, as there's a man sleeping in my bed." She told me not to be silly and to just go to bed. Another occasion, one morning my mom told me and my sister off for walking up and down the stairs in the night. We both denied it, and I knew it wasn't my sister because I would hear her door open. I used to lay there and hear footsteps up and down the stairs, yet I didn't hear anyone's bedroom door open. My mom had a friend around who was helping decorate when we first moved in, and before she left, she told my mother that she was living with a spirit, and she had felt it and sensed it the whole time she was there. Many other creepy things happened in that house. Some things I've only ever told my partner and ex-partner about, because it's just so hard to believe and hard to tell people and explain. But I would like to know who lives there now, and if they have experienced anything like what we did when we lived there.